Good afternoon, I'm Susan. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do something different. We're going to bake peanut butter chocolate chunk cookies. Now this is kind of a recipe I concocted using I think 2 or 3 different recipes that I really liked. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to start out with 1 cup of margarine. Now I know you're probably shivering at the thought of margarine. You can't use butter because of the water content. You need the water content that's in margarine. So I'm going to use 1 cup of butter, or margarine, I'm sorry. I'm not used to cooking with margarine. In fact, I think this is the only thing I really do with margarine. But I always keep some in the freezer in case I want to make these cookies. So we're going to start out with 1 cup of margarine. To that, we're going to add a cup of brown sugar, packed brown sugar, and we're going to add a cup of granulated sugar, and I have a cup of peanut butter. Now this is extra chunky peanut butter, which is just exactly what I like. You know, I think I'm going to mix this all together first before I add the peanut butter. Let me get in here, get this mixed together. Get it all beaten up here. I have to do this because somebody is saying, gee, you know, we don't have any cookies. Where are all the cookies? I don't know who that is. I don't think it's Tilly. I don't think she complains that there's no cookies. But you never know. We're going to cream this together. Now I'm going to add the peanut butter and mix it in. Ooh, it's thick and chunky, and there you go. And messy. This peanut butter is when it's room temperature. You know, I guess I got out of the habit. I like my peanut butter. If I'm going to have a peanut butter sandwich, I really enjoy my peanut butter cold, right out of the refrigerator. But Will likes his soft from the cupboard. So we compromise and eat it soft out of the cupboard. There's no sense having 2 jars of peanut butter. So, there's the peanut butter. I'll mix this together. This is kind of a quick recipe. It comes together real quick. Okay. Now, I've got some vanilla in my vodka bottle. One of my sons emailed me the other day and said, Mom, you got a vodka bottle sitting on the counter. Why don't you find something else to put that in? And I said, why? They all know it's a vodka bottle and that I make my own vanilla with the vodka and vanilla beans. And he said, oh, okay. That was the last I heard of it. But I guess he thought, you know, you'd think I was a boozer. All right. We got a teaspoon of vanilla, and I've got 2 beaten eggs here, room temperature. I'm going to add in there right now. Like I said, this comes together pretty quick. Do that gingerly with those eggs in there. Now, we've got 2½ cups of flour in this bowl. The 2½ cups of flour, I'm going to add, well, I just used my teaspoon for my vanilla. I need to do something different here. I need to add a teaspoon of baking soda. This is ½ a teaspoon, so I'm going to add 2 of these. And a teaspoon of baking powder. 1/2 and 1. kind of mix this together. Now we are going to turn this down. You know what I'm going to do before we do that? I'm going to scrape down the sides once here. Make sure everything gets incorporated.
How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Tilly needs a cookie.
She didn't need a cookie. Look how fat she is.
Well,
That's why she's fat, because Tilly needs a cookie.
she still wants one. Come on, baby. There you go.
Okay. So now we'll have Tilly crunch. Okay. Now you're going to notice that this dough is kind of soft and runny, but that's fine. I'm going to add some flour to it and stiffen it kind of. Stiffen it a little. So, I'm going to add all this flour to it. Now I'm not real crazy about peanut butter. I don't like peanut butter candy. And I don't particularly care for peanut butter and cookies. I'll have one of these occasionally, but these are mainly for the Cookie Monster in our family, so not necessarily for me. We might do chocolate chip cookies in a future video. Okay. Now, we are going to scrape this beater. And I'm going to take it off here because I'm going to have to stir this up. And we're going to have to put our chocolate chunks in. Now, if you don't have any chocolate chunks, you can sure use chocolate chips if you'd like. Move that out of the way. In fact, I'll tell you, I went to, let me see if I can get that off there now. I went to the grocery the other day looking for chocolate chunks. And that's the last package. I couldn't believe it. There must have been a run on chocolate chunks at the grocery store because that was the only package left on the shelf. Either that or maybe there's a chocolate shortage I don't know about. Wouldn't that be terrible? It would be for me, the chocolatier. So, got a package of chocolate chunks here. I'd like to open. Open them with my trusty scissors. We're going to pour them in the batter here. We're going to mix them by hand. Now these said chocolate morsels. I assumed that was chocolate chunks, but it's not. It's large chocolate chips. And they're dark chocolate, which is awfully good. So that's fine. So we used chocolate chips after all, but we used the dark chocolate, which is better for you than the milk chocolate. So we're going to mix these up. Get those incorporated into the batter. Now this makes some big cookies. I don't make little cookies out of these. So I've got these mixed up. And I'll show you what that looks like. Now we're going to have to put these in the refrigerator for 45 minutes or longer until they kind of come together. So that's what we're going to do. We'll be back in a little with some chilled dough. Okay, we're back. Now I've chilled the dough. This is chilled probably close to an hour. I got sidetracked. And I've got my oven heated at 350. And I've got some sugar because we're going to roll these in sugar. So I'm going to take a scoop of dough. I'm going to make a little round thing out of it. We're going to roll it in sugar. I mean, what's a cookie if you can't have sugar? Okay. Now I'm only going to put 6 to a sheet because these spread out and they make a pretty big cookie. So we're only going to do 6 to a sheet. Just roll them, roll them, roll them. Get them good and sugary. Get that sugar high going. Then we're going to bake these off in the oven. As you can see, these are going to make a big, big cookie. So you really only want to eat one cookie at a time. At least that's what I'm hoping for. A couple more cookies. We're going to put these in the oven for about, I'm going to say about 20 minutes at 350 degrees. But we're going to turn them after about 10 minutes. You know what I mean by turning them so that the front's in the back and the back's in the front. So we get an even bake. I don't have a convection oven. So this is a last one. Now this is just granulated sugar. You can do any kind of sugar you want. You could even do a raw sugar if you wanted. I'm going to wipe my hands here since I'm a little on the sticky side. And we're going to pop these in the oven, like I said, for about 20 minutes, but we're going to turn them at 10 minutes. So let's pop these in, set the timer for 10. We'll twist them around and set them for another 10. So here we are. We've got 24 cookies. It does look good. Nice and big. They're tasty. Oh, here comes the Cookie Monster in. So I think you'll really enjoy these. They're not difficult to make. And as you can see, one cookie ought to tide you over for a little while. Again, thanks for subscribing. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video. And until next time, blessings to you and your family. Have a great day.